pleats, so you have a hell of a lot more surface area. This is going to get clogged up way quicker than something like this. However, the design of this, I mean, Milwaukee, they ain't dumb. They're selling filters. They're selling filters. So this, there's no cyclonic separation, so the filter element is doing all of the heavy lifting. In this case, the cyclonic separation is doing most of the heavy lifting. So not quite sure how long this is going to last. In my application, where I'm just sucking up metal flakes, I betcha this will probably last quite a long time. However, not as good as a pleated filter element. Now we're into the meat of her. We can actually see some material specs on here. This shiny guy here, the tab, is ABS, and the body itself is polycarbonate and ABS, so a blend. I was mistaken. Wow, there is ABS in here, so I wasn't that far off. All of these are a blend, polycarbonate and ABS. The polycarbonate, when you blend ABS, it actually makes it more resilient to impact. Now we got the ring prophylaxis and mother on speed dial. We'll get into the battery here. It just comes off. There's two. There's a screw here and a screw here. And how that, it's so fancy. So fancy. It's all tabbed, right? So you take it apart, you're taking your $250 hairs into your hands. I can't for the life of me get into the bateria. We're gonna grab the most dangerous tool in the shop here, cut towards our thumb, not our chum. Actually, I was corrected. Second most dangerous tool in the shop. One might call the penultimate tool. Whew, that was quite a bit of bother for not much payoff. Red cells, ostensibly LG. Low, wow, the market is awash in fakery, so who can really tell? 22.2 volts, that's, at 6 that's 3.7, so the rating at low, 3.7 volts, and then 13 milliamp hours, so very conservative on their numbers. That means that we're not drawing a whole lot of current from these, and lifetime isn't that much, so these will very likely, or that is, the capacity is low, these will very likely last many charge and discharge cycles, so built for longevity. Oh, we're in like it. Fuck yeah. Well, that's a reluctance motor, what's in the $500 Dyson blowjobber. Modular PCBs, there's the button switch and the LED indicator PCB back in here. The trigger switch, now that is just a tiny little micro switch, so the switching must be done by a MOSFET in here somewhere. Also, very likely battery management in the trigger itself, not in the battery. And then the motor's installated with a Buna N valence, ducted valence, and it's in there pretty good. Fuck. My soft baby-like hands let me down. Fuck me. Oh my god. Giving birth to it. Oh, fuck. What did I pull apart? Fuck. Like giving birth to an elect chicken. Hard part's over. Nothing left but the crying now. Son of a diddly. What did I fucking pull off of there? It was quite a shock to me to see this light plastic being used as the housing for the body of the motor. You don't even see that in RC cars, like brushless motor, like they're always rolled steel body. This is PET as well. PET is the same stuff they make plastic water bottles out of. And then there's a TS in there indicating there's some sort of thermoset plastic. So depending on the ratios, this might not melt. Still, very surprising to see in such a high-end piece of gear. Just a plastic motor. The impeller itself, not machined aluminum, as per the previous blowjobber. Looks to be PA nylon with some glass fiber. Lots of glass fiber in there on account of the grayness. And some sort of samarium cobalt or neodymium magnet in the brushless motor housing. Weird arrangement on the poles here. Now what's going on is this is a reluctance motor. It's not a, it's brushless, but it's apparently a reluctance motor. Ablated off the numbers off this controller here, so we can't know what it is. Positively affixed with 2 fasteners, and even just a wee whiff of the silicon carney just to take the edges off, and 2 massive, huge capacitors, electrolytic capacitors, very likely in parallel with these coils. Of course, when the field collapses on these coils, they turn off or reverse. There's going to be a huge inductive voltage spike, lots of noise. So we mitigate that by putting these guys as close as possible. And then also we see the MOSFETs here, what do the switching for these coils. I am very, very surprised at the construction of this. Just the plastic housing even, weird, very weird. Have a look at the laminations on here, fine laminations. And that high permeability silicon steel, but on the magnet wire here, they haven't taken the stuff off, the shmoo off, all the way around. Just on the bottom side, you can see it hasn't, the solder hasn't wetted the top side. So, yeah, I guess that doesn't really matter. But you know, if you took that lacquer off or that polyurethane dielectric coating off, just so it'd sit in there a little bit better. I don't know. That's kind of, is it half-ass or is it quarter-ass? Gonna get this back together. We'll use the old liquid metal glue to try and get that wire back together. Here's a little tip for you for changing out the innards of your flashlight. I mean, any sort of Buna N condomy type thing. You turn it right side out, and then she just slides right over. Slides right over. Huh? Another wee tip for you. Keep this up, you'll get the full 3 inches. Little bit of, just a tiny bit of soap, in this case the Windex there, or my brand, not booze, helps rubber slide better. If you're cutting rubber or you're doing anything like that, you're putting on decals, any kind of thing where you might need to use it or slide the rubber, just a wee bit of soap helps you out immensely. And then once the water dries, doesn't affect fuck all. It would help. It would help quite a bit, I imagine, if I put it in the right direction. Fucking doughhead. Ha ha ha! Estupido como Zorro. Oh, I could just get this Jesus thing in there. This is all fucking cattywampus. Remember, dear friends, all things are possible through Jesus. Just pulling out all the tricks. Gonna show you all the tricks. I'm reasonably confident we didn't fuckulate this TT bag. I think she's gonna chooch. We won't know until we got her right back together. And of course, Empire claims another one. This rebuild fully legit on account of the missing fastener. Shouldn't matter. There's 6, well, 5 in there. 5 out of 6 ain't bad. Looking at the business end here, we have a polypropylene, lots of glass fiber in there, little shaft with some brushes. So that impeller must have been polypropylene too. Looks like the same material, has that same look about it. And we'll get this apart. Now, oddly enough, this says it runs on 16 volts and 16.29 watts. Whereas the battery is 22 volts, so something mislabeled there, or oh yeah, okay. Cute, cute. So belt drive, just a rubber band drive, and the cogged belt has some set to it here, not very tight at all. Of course, cogged belts don't need to be very tight. And just a brushed DC, permanent magnet DC motor in there. Now she's a little worse for the wearing in, but what do you finger, boys? Half a turn, fart, let the smoke out, Or will she chooch? I got a feeling these things are, despite being craptacularly plastic, insanely, everything's tabbed and no serviceable parts at all. When they do go back together, I think they're fairly... Oh, for fuck's sakes. How's that? Oh, you gotta go like this. Hey, there's a hole. Oh, hey. This doesn't end. Alright. Horn duct. Fix. Here's the face sucker end. Stall torque is precisely fuck all. Well, when it does get turning, it seems to do a little bit of work. I think it's mainly for cosmetics. That you get some golden reliever hair in there. Wouldn't take much to stall that right out. In the name of almighty thoroughness, we need to check how much chooch it's got in comparison to its contemporaries. So we will do that with the vacuum gauge, the engine vacuum gauge. I think maybe, actually we'll stick this right in the hole. Like so. And then we'll tuck tape it up. Now we'll check against the Milwaukee to see how she fares. Of course, ultimate suction is not the be-all and end-all, because you're also trying to move as much air as possible. Okay, we got her in regular run. The gauge is a little bit off, but it's going to be the same gauge for both tests. So, that's in PSI. That outer is negative PSI. The inner is in inches of mercury. It's cycling there. It knows it's under quite a bit of load, and it's not hunting, but off and on, off and on, off and on. Okay, so we're getting around 5, a little past 5. Now let's put her in full chooch here. This is overdrive. Turbo. We're getting negative 6 psi. Of course, atmospheric pressure is 14.7 at sea level. Now here's the Milwaukee. Seems to have settled out. We're at 2. Yeah, 2.5. Something like that. You can see. Tail to the tape. Well, we're looking for ultimate though. Holy fuck. Absolutely fuck all. The filter is what's giving us our trouble. Ooh, look at that. Gold. Okay, no filter. Close your eyes. So you're gonna get a blasted schmoo. Wow. No wonder this thing's fucking junk. If you can get over your urge to rush out and buy a European carryall, this thing actually sucks real nice. There you go. Despite looking like a Ridley Scott aborted opium den pipe dream, you do get more chooch for your chotch. You pay twice the amount of money and you do get some extra vacuuming. Incredible. You don't always get what you pay for, but you never get what you don't pay for. Unless you work for the government. Doesn't seem to be teabagged to me. Who knew? Thanks for watching. Keep your dick in a vice.
There we go. Why is it just showing that? Oh fuck. Fuck! Not actually showing it. Okay. So it's stopping. Yeah, it's